I'm Tommy Chong, and I'm going to be on I Only Touch Greatness broadcast. So podcast. So come on and check me out. Yeah, I can go into detail, but it was it was a true Canadian upbringing.
Yeah.
Okay.
A cold one.
Well, I learned to skate on a frozen road. Put it that way.
Wow.
You know, there was no ice skating rinks near us.
Oh.
There was ponds and there were frozen roads, and if it got packed pretty solid, you could skate on it. You know.
Oh.
You play any other sports growing up?
I played little baseball, little football in high school for a bit. You know, for 1 year. Yeah. Love sports. You know, but I was in Army Cadets. That was my you know. That explains a lot if you know Canadians.
Yeah.
If they've gone to Army Cadets, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Their base is over there as well in Alberta, right?
Well, yeah, in Calgary. Well, I think every city has an Army Cadet place, and then the camp was in Vernon, BC, in British Columbia.
Oh.
Okay.
Mike, you love Vernon.
I do, yeah. My whole wife's family's from there, and I go there like 15 times a year, so it's a pretty good time.
Oh, no, it's great. Vernon's wonderful. And yeah, every summer you get the cadets, so you've seen the cadets, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like they're a tourist attraction in some ways.
Yeah,
they are.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, did you have a favorite sports hero growing up?
Bodybuilding, I guess, ended up being my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I wasn't good enough to play hockey or football, so all my limbs and I don't have any concussions.
So what did you guys call it in the 70s and 80s?
What's that?
What did you guys call weed in the 70s and 80s?
In the 70s and 80s, pot, boo, Yeska. We got it on our license plates and up and smoked Yeska.
And also said muck diver.
Weed. Oh yeah. Well, that's not a. That's the guy that smoked the right amount of weed.
Yeah.
That's what you call that guy.
The guy that also notices the license plate, though. I always remembered. I always wanted to have my license plate up here, MUF DVR.
Yeah. What cracks me up that they sell them in the stores, and so I guess they don't know what. It's a funny joke, but I crack up every time I see one of those muff divers.
You see a lot of different guitars up there on your wall there, Tommy. What's one of your favorite ones? What's the best story that you have behind one of them?
Well, this one here, this guy here, is the oldest.
Okay.
It belonged to my mother. When she was pregnant with me, she bought a cheap Sears guitar. I think $15. I think. It had a hula girl on the front, and eventually, when I was separated from my mom when I was a baby, but when we got back to all living together, she had the guitar, and I used to play around with it because I had a musical ear, and so eventually I ended up playing it with a fiddle player in a field across the field from where we lived, and so I got good enough. I was 8 years old. I was good enough to play for dances.
Wow!
And so I was a professional musician at 8 years old. At least once a week, sometimes once a month, or maybe once a week, I'd have a gig, and that went on for a few winters, and then I went to Army Cadets and I started playing backup guitar with another native guitar player. Dick Bird. He's deceased now, but he became the first Elvis impersonator in Calgary.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Because we were around when Elvis hit the scene, 54, and so Dick became an Elvis impersonator, and I was his backup guitar player. And that's how I got on the stage, and then eventually I ended up, being in a hot rhythm and blues band, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you were in a couple of bands. What were the name of the bands again?
The Shades was the first.
Okay.
The Calgary Shades.
Okay.
And then we moved to we got kicked to Vancouver, and that's when the Shades broke up, and then the same group, same singer, he put a group together called Little Daddy and the Bachelors.
Okay.
And so I was Little Daddy and the Bachelors for a while, and then we got a new singer named Bobby Taylor. And we got discovered by Motown. Then we became Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers.
Oh, right on.
And that was the last group that I was in.
Okay. Did you ever play at the Roxy?
As a band or
Yeah.
Cheech and Chong?
Oh,
No, as a band.
Never as a band. No.
Okay.
I quit the group in '68.
Okay.
So that's, we were together 66 to 68. Yeah, a couple of years.
so you've been back to the Roxy doing the stand-ups?
Well, Cheech and I played there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheech and I played there for the 50th anniversary Up in Smoke, or 40th anniversary. Yeah, 40th anniversary of Up in Smoke. We did a little
How did
little gig.